Hi, what's up, 180 Fit? Let's get into part 5 of our 6-part series on breaking bad habits. So, we know that we said that change is not an event, but a process. So, change happens through a series of stages, and most successful and self changes fail at least once before they succeed. So, willpower will not alone do the trick. I know this personally. I was queen of willpower, and willpower had left me alone and defeated, and I'm feeling like a failure because I didn't understand the cycle of change. I didn't understand that the risk of substituting one bad habit just for another, and how often that happens. It's like I given before, if smokers then satisfy with overeating. So success depends upon having the right information and knowing how to use it, implementing things correctly. And research shows clearly we have 6 stages in this process of self-change. Number 1, we said, was denial. Number 2, we said, was awareness. Number 3, preparation. Number 4, action. And number 5 is today's, which is maintenance. And then number 6, finally, termination. So on stage 5, there's a quote by Ernest Beer that says, there is no way to change one isolated item of behavior if the item is significant and the change is to be a lasting one. We have to change the pattern of which is a part. So we actually have to change our pattern. So winning this battle in this stage, okay, the key is to replace our bad habit with a new lifestyle. Lifestyle changes are key here. So even professional therapists call this stage maintenance. So countering the technique we study in stage 4 is the first step in this process. So promoting new habits is crucial to our success. Habits create our lifestyle. If you only remove the old habit, you're condemned to a lifetime of fighting the urge to actually go back to it, right? People who get stuck in this stage would gladly go back to their lifestyle if science were suddenly to offer them new proof that their habit was harmless. If safe cigarettes were invented, then somehow satisfied smokers' nicotine craving without causing cancer, or heart disease. Ex-smokers would never move past that stage, and would they just go and buy them by the truckload. In this stage, we must struggle to prevent relapse. As I mentioned, in previous ones, I mentioned the guy who was ready to quit smoking right when he reached his target date. He thought he could just quit cold turkey and break the habit by using sheer willpower. But he was wrong. His mistake didn't cause him to give up, as often happens when people discover that willpower alone isn't enough, right? He understands now that he did 2 things right that were key to his success. So let's learn from this, okay? 1, he went through a real preparation stage that lasted about a month. 2, he didn't blame himself or let himself feel guilty because he lapsed. Research has shown that these are the 2 things that are key to breaking any bad habit. He didn't know at the time that those techniques were scientifically sound. He suddenly put them as part of his trial and error effort to quit. And common sense told him that they were the right way to attack this problem. So, during that month, it's typical to have a lot of relapses. And so he was still in, that preparation stage, just strengthening his commitment to quit. There were many lapses during that time, almost every day, right? He ended up buying a pack of cigarettes to smoke one, and then sometimes he'd throw the pack away in disgust, okay? So that's when we start moving, when we how many times have we you give yourself a big, thing of ice cream, and then you throw it out. Or you buy a bunch of food you shouldn't have and you throw it away, or you get drugs and you end up calling someone and flushing them down the toilet. Lapses as well as relapse teach us that real change costs more than you thought in terms of time, effort, and even cash. So a lapse, will teach us that we need to make a more serious commitment into preparing for our lifestyle change. One of the most important things that we can do during this time period is to really do something that focuses on others. I talked about the key of focusing on others, and in my example, he had bought uniforms for our basketball team. So putting our money where our mouth is, as it says, is a way to keep ourselves focused on the goal of lifestyle change. And by doing this, we start thinking about getting into basketball shape, and less about trying to quit smoking. So it's important to understand after these lapses, that every time we lapse, we feel disgusted, don't we? But we don't feel guilty, okay? Or beat ourselves up for not being strong enough to stick to it. There's a huge difference between feeling disgusted and feeling and just beating ourselves up and letting the bad habit control us. Because every day when if you're a smoker, every day that you throw out that almost full pack of cigarettes, you prove to yourself that you could control the habit. Instead of feeling guilty, you can feel free and powerful every time you choose to throw away, 19 remaining cigarettes in the pack that you just buy. You choose to do that. But ultimately, what would be better? Choose not to even buy them in the first place, right? So, do some bad habits require a lifetime of maintenance? Even experts are divided on this, honestly. Alcoholics Anonymous teaches its members that the stage lasts for a long time, maybe as long as they are alive. I do believe it is possible to free yourself from a bad habit forever. I believe it because I did. Okay, it's my story. Big part of my story. And millions of other people have done it too. One thing is for sure, programs that promise easy change or quick fixes fail because they ignore stage 5. Dieters who, regain more weight after they lost the following the latest fad or, are victims of these programs. They ignore the need for total lifestyle change. If you are obese or if you struggle with the diet fads, I get it. I totally get it. But you are victims and you have a problem. It's the lifestyle change. You have to learn that the hard way is the route to lasting change. And lasting change cannot be made without a serious effort on our part. So people in stage 5 haven't changed their lifestyle yet. They're still working on changing it. So for some people, the struggle can go on for a lifetime. It can. Others move quickly through this stage and then free themselves from the problem forever. So what causes people to relapse? I think it's important for us to hit this up here. Research has identified 3 causes of relapse, okay? 1, overconfidence. The alcoholic who says, I can handle one more drink, it's clearly in stage 5. As everyone knows, AA knows overconfidence is the number 1 cause of relapse among the numbers. 2, daily temptation. A man who is fighting an addiction to pornography, right, cannot walk into a movie theater that's showing an X-rated film and ask God for the strength not to look at the screen. It's not going to happen, right? I can't go and party at a friend's house, have drugs around, and ask, God, please help me not to take a hit or something. There's this kind of things. So people in stage 4 still feel tempted. And success depends how we remove those temptations from our lives. So we can't eliminate every temptation, of course. That's why we need to be master at countering techniques covered in stage 4. If you remember, we talked about, if you haven't listened, go back and listen to stage 4 about how to do that. And then number 3 is one that this is my big one, guilt and self-blame. Telling yourself that you aren't strong enough to break the habit, or I'm just bad, I'm going to be this way always. It sets us up for relapse. It's part of the mental cage that people construct to avoid, and we construct mental cages to avoid responsibility for our choices, okay? Deep change must always be associated with a new way of life. Research shows us that diet is successful when it's combined with eating healthier foods and exercising. Most of us don't need to research findings to believe this. We see proof every day in our lives, right? And the lives of people we are close to. So the first danger sign for a dieter usually isn't overeating, but weakening their commitment to a new lifestyle. You stop going to exercise class. Then you sit in front of the TV instead of exercising. Only one day to step away from serving yourself a big bowl of ice cream. Most gyms and fitness centers have mirrored walls. If you think about when you go into the gym again, you'll be reminded of the need to keep working on a healthier lifestyle, right? But if you stop going to the gym or stop showing up for things, right, even as online or however it is, the lapse can become a total relapse. Our goal is to keep it as a lapse, not a relapse, okay? Social pressures are still dangerous in stage 4 as well. As far as possible, ex-smokers must stay away from environments where people smoke. And dieters must stay away from people where they overeat. That's why holidays are some of the most difficult times to even start a diet. But I'd say it's the best time because if I can help you weather that, then you can weather anything. So setting a target date that's coincides with the Christmas season might not be the best thing if you're doing it alone, especially if you're doing it alone. You know, a lot of people start with the new year, but New Year's resolutions fail because they made it on the new year, right? And they fail to, how many people fail because people jump into them without having progressed through the previous stages? You go from one to like you want to be done. You know, as my smoking example was, he learned from his experience you can't move through the action stage successfully if you haven't even moved out of the preparation stage. So most people make New Year's resolutions after waking up with a hangover or 5 extra pounds in their midsection on the morning of January 1st. They haven't done the necessary preparation to have changed the behavior successfully. So it's no wonder that so many people go back to old behaviors before the month of January is over. You know, that's why your coach comes in, someone who's holding you accountable, but still, you still have to do the work, but at least you have someone there holding you accountable. And when you relapse, we need to make sure we learn from it and we do move on. And this is part of the spiral that most people go through before they exit the cycle forever, honestly. You don't have to start over when you slip up. A lot of people fall out of the cycle completely by beating themselves up with feelings of guilt after a lapse. It doesn't mean they fully went into a relapse, right? So I think, in my smoking example, we can learn 2 important lessons. A lapse isn't always a relapse, number 1. And 2, guilt and self-blame don't help. So, if we think about my example, or even like you and I, like for me, if I allow myself to feel guilty when I lapse, okay, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to totally deviate into a full relapse. And then it takes me even longer to get ready to make a serious effort because I have that failure right there in front of me. It takes years to establish a bad habit. So if you think you can eliminate it in a few days or weeks, you're probably setting yourself up for failure. So give yourself time here. And remember, this stage can take a while, but what are you doing? So what bad habit are you trying to break free of? And what are you replacing it? How are you going to change your lifestyle? And how are you going to make sure you're catching yourself in those laps, not beating yourself up, but actually making those dramatic changes? And that's so key here. I can't stress this enough. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if I could just be free, feel free? I never thought I would. I really didn't. I just thought this was going to be the way I was going to be. But you do the steps right, you hit that point of freedom. Not to say like when things like COVID and stuff, yes, do I have to keep a close eye on myself on certain things? Of course I do, because it's easy to fall back into things. But is that the same stronghold on me like it used to? Not even close. So I think there is healing, there is hope for every one of us. We just have to put the work in. So I encourage you to get out your journal, think through some things, go back, listen to this, watch this again, take out your journal, make pauses and pause and really think through these things. And really think about, like, how are you viewing? Where are you truly at? Are you ready for this stage? Because if we don't take it seriously, then we're just wasting our time, right? I don't want to waste your time. I want you to get true, lasting, sustainable results. So, as always, you can always reach out to me at 180fitgojenfitness.com so I can schedule with you your free empowerment coaching session. Also, the link is down below or beside me, depends on where you're watching, on what channel and stuff. But in there, I also have a direct link to my booking page. So if you just want to go and book free empowerment coaching sessions, I'd love to talk with you about where you are and where you want to go and see what we can do to get you there. Because I know there's hope for everyone. So, man, we are about to number 60, guys. Oh, my goodness. It went by so quick. I love these series. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know if you like this kind of style, how you like it. Let me know your thoughts, what you would like to know more about so I could be bringing you relevant and practical and sustainable, doable in your life right now, things to talk about. All right. Till next time, tribe. Be brave, be kind, live authentically, and always shine. And remember, you are only one habit away.